Interim President Dave Kaufman for a few words on the athletic department at large, who will then hand it off to Dixie Jeffers, our Interim Director of Athletics and Recreation. She'll then officially introduce Coach Brian Foos, and then after Coach Foos makes his statements, his first as a member of the Capital University community, we'll turn it over to anybody that has any questions for Coach Foos, Coach Jeffers, or President Kaufman. So before we begin, I'd like to just run down again Coach Foos's resume. He comes to us from Madonna University, located in Livonia, Michigan, approximately 30 miles west of Detroit, Michigan, but he's no stranger to Capital or Columbus or the OAC. Brian comes to us from Madonna, as I mentioned, and he built that program from scratch. They were ready to take the field before the COVID-19 pandemic. He was the offensive coordinator at Baldwin-Wallace. With the Yellow Jackets, they went from 3 wins one season and became one of the most improved teams in the conference in just 2 years in the program. He was instrumental in constructing the Lindsey Wilson University football program that earned a winning record in just its 2nd season of existence, and within 7 years was regularly making trips to the NAIA postseason. He was also on staff at nearby Ohio Dominican University, where the Panthers went from a winless startup program to being nationally ranked behind a 12-1 overall record and made it to the NAIA playoffs. He also spent time at Ohio Wesleyan University, but it all began at his alma mater, and it pains us to say it a little bit, but it is Otterbein University. We won't hold that against him, but we know that it will make him stronger for the experience. At Otterbein, Brian was a 4-year starter on the offensive line that guarded All-American quarterback Matt DeRozio. He holds a bachelor's degree in sport management from Otterbein and a master's of business administration from Ohio Dominican. Those are just a few of his accomplishments, and you can find more in our press release online at athletics.capital.edu. Not only was he a fantastic player and is he a fantastic coach, but he's also husband to his wife, Sarah, to his daughter, Leah, who we also welcome to the Capital family. So at this time, I'd like to introduce and welcome Interim President Dave Kaufman.
Thanks, Ryan, and welcome, Brian. My vision for Capital University athletics is that we build leaders through personal growth, academic challenge, social engagement, and athletic competition. That's why I'm excited and honored to welcome Coach Brian Foos as the head football coach at Capital University. He shares our mission and has the experience and drive to achieve it. Brian's a proven leader, and he knows how to build a winning culture. It's about beliefs and disciplined behavior, high expectations, and personal accountability. With Brian, team comes first, and our student athletes will learn how to contribute to something bigger than themselves. He recognizes and prioritizes that our players are students first, and his staff provides the support necessary to excel in the classroom. He doesn't just recruit players, he recruits their whole family. His football program is a community that provides support well beyond the student athlete's time on campus. Brian's teams also get involved in the community through service projects and volunteer opportunities. He expects his players to be leaders in the locker room, in the classroom, across campus, and in the community. Capital is also a good fit for Brian. Our overall athletic program will soon include a formal leadership academy all student athletes will participate in. Our programs are designed to promote diversity and differentiate the overall student experience at Capital. Athletics provides the support students need to be successful. When our athletes arrive on campus, they immediately have a mentor in their coach, a peer group in their teammates, and a support network provided by our Student Success Office. Our faculty knows student athletes personally, which improves the accountability needed for success in the classroom. Our athletic programs are designed to complement academics by developing transferable skills outside the classroom. In addition to developing as leaders, student athletes foster superior teamwork and develop strong organization and time management skills. They learn to communicate effectively, set goals, overcome obstacles, and make good decisions. All of these skills are needed to succeed in their chosen career or field of study. I see athletics as the foundation to Capital's future, and football is our flagship program. We recruit to retain, to succeed, and to give back. Consistent with the mission of the university, Our mission is to transform lives and ensure every student athlete realizes their full potential. Brian Foos will model that mission, not only for our football team, but for all of Capital's student athletes. I share his vision and look forward to working closely with Coach Foos to develop a winning football program that differentiates Capital University, a program where our student athletes experience success and learn how to excel both on and off the football field. Please join me in welcoming Coach Brian Foos to the Capital family. Welcome, Brian.
All right, at this time, we'd like to hand the baton off to the Interim Director of Athletics and Recreation at Capital University and also head women's basketball coach, Ms. Dixie Jeffers. Coach Jeffers, you need to unmute yourself.
Okay. So I want to thank President Kaufman and Dr. Fournier for their leadership. We couldn't have got to this point without them being involved in the process, and it's very much appreciated. I also want to thank the search committee. We started with a large pool of applicants, and they dwindled it down to the people that we visited to campus, and I cannot applaud their efforts and their time and commitment that they put forward in the process of finding our next head football coach. Before the search began, I thought it was important that everybody understood exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for a proven worker. We were looking for somebody that was solid in recruiting. We were looking for a person of high integrity. We were looking for a person that could immediately hit the ground running. In the many conversations that I had had with Brian on the telephone, in person, and as the process kept developing, it was obvious that we had found the person that fit for us and fit for him. This is almost a destination for both of us, to our moons to align here, our stars all align for Brian to come forward. And we couldn't be more happier that he has chosen us when we offered him to come this way. He's a great communicator. He is going to be totally invested into the university. He's going to be invested into the athletic department as a whole. But he's going to be invested into our student athletes academically and athletically. Brian will begin on campus on December 14th, ready and to lead us forward and to take us to the next place that we want to be, back in the hunt for championships. And I'm convinced that he is the person, more and more the time that I spend with him. I wanted to welcome his wife, Sarah, and his daughter, Leah, who I've heard incredible things about already. And it's a great excitement that I welcome our next head coach, Brian Foos.
I think we're good here. All right. Thank you very much. I'm absolutely humbled, completely excited to be a part of the Capital family. This is really a dream come true for me to come back home, I feel like. I'd like to thank President Kaufman, Dr. Fournier, and Dixie Jeffers, the search committee, the alums. I had an outstanding meeting with them on campus, and current players as well. Everything on campus was outstanding, and you just fall in love with the place as soon as you set foot. I'd also like to thank my wife and daughter, my parents, and obviously my father-in-law. And I've put them through a lot over the last few years, and I am so excited to be able to settle down and grow roots and help build Capital back up to where it should be. That's going to be a task, and we're ready to go for it. But this is a dream come true for me. We want to restore pride for the alum and the Capital family, and we're going to work hard at that. We're going to bring in the right people doing it. Okay. This is all about relationships. It doesn't happen quickly, you have to spend the time out recruiting. You have to spend the time bringing the people back that need to be back. And, we're going to spend that time. We're going to build relationships. So, I've had a ton of people reaching out to me, and it's humbling to see the interest in Capital, the interest in Capital football. And, I think that it's humbling for me because I see how many people I've connected with, and I want to continue to bring that to Capital. So if I haven't gotten back to you yet, I promise I will. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I will get back to you and do everything I can to help you out, or have you help me out too. I was so impressed with the commitment of the administration, so impressed with the commitment of the university. And like I said, to me, it was a no-brainer to make the move. It was tough to leave the players and the staff up here at Madonna. They were great to me, and they worked awfully hard. But this was the right move for my family. And like I said, this is a destination job for me. Recruiting is going to be big, and we're going to be out hammering the pavement as much as we can with the pandemic going on, hammering the phones, and we're going to bring in players that everyone can be proud of. Not just on the football field, but in the classroom first and foremost, in the community. And we're going to raise, we're going to help, 18-year-old college graduates to be outstanding young men. And that's our goal. Okay. And for the players that are currently on the roster, look forward to getting to know you, not just again on the football field, but getting to know you, getting to know your families, and being able to, spend time together again when everyone is allowed to and it's safe to. But I look forward to tackling all those obstacles with you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Coach Foos. At this time, we'd like to open it up. If anybody has any questions for Coach Foos, Coach Jeffers, or even President Kaufman, you're more than welcome to ask those at this time.
And so is there a queue, or do you want to queue people, or do we?
With Pat, it just being you and Skip, I say just go ahead and go ahead and ask your questions.
All right, that sounds good. Hey, I really appreciate you guys putting this together. First off, I don't get a chance to attend a lot of coaching introductory news conferences in Columbus from Minneapolis, so this is very helpful for us. My question is for Coach, Coach, especially with Interim President Kaufman here on the call. This is a program that 15 years ago was one of the preeminent programs in Division III football. Now hasn't been to the playoffs in 14 years. What do you need in terms of athletic support, admissions support, just general support from the institution in order to bring this program back to where it used to be?
I think the bottom line is, we've got to get out there and find the right guys. It's something that as a coach, you got to be able to find those guys that make that fit. That support is there. The thing that I kept coming back to on our interview is, as long as I can ask questions and be able to have a conversation, that's the type of support that's needed. And that is there. That is a refreshing thing to know that at any point in time, I can call up Dixie and know that she's going to, within reason, she's going to try and help me out as best she can. And like I said, that is absolutely refreshing to have an administration that is willing to listen and willing to work with you. And in the same respect, I'm willing to work with them. It doesn't take one person to build a program. It takes everybody. We're going to need everybody on campus, all the way from, the current roster players, to our plant department, to the professors, to our president. Everyone is involved with that transformation. And I've seen that transformation a few different times, through my career. And that's something that's extremely important, is just being able to have that conversation, and have that support from that standpoint.
Do you mind if I ask one more, and then maybe I'll cede the floor for a few minutes? But Coach, how is this different than how is this rebuilding a program that's coming off of the struggles that it has been, different than the process that you've been through at Madonna, where you're building something from the ground up?
Yeah, it's different. There wasn't any, when I set foot on campus at Madonna, I didn't have an office. We didn't have a football. I didn't have a computer. We were literally looking up phone numbers and calling people. And, here, there's a lot of things in place. I think the Capitol is a sleeping giant. I don't have to sell on a vision, and I can sell with what's there. Again, all the tools are in place to make that happen. You've got the facilities, we've got the staff, we've got the, admissions process, and everything is already in place. And, to be able to recruit off of actual things that are there, rather than just off the vision that's in my head, is going to be a lot easier.
Skip, if you have a question, feel free. And if not, and you'd like to yield the floor to Pat, go for it.
Or if he's stuck on mute or something like that, right? News conferences in 2020. All right, I'm going to ask the question about the elephant in the room. This is a job where you are coming to coach your arch rival. And, Ryan mentioned it at the beginning. I think, this is a rivalry that we know about. What is it like for you? And what have you heard maybe from your fellow alums or your former teammates and that sort of thing?
When I did the first Zoom interview, we talked about one of the games that we played, and it was when the beautiful stadium was getting built and Capitol was playing over at Whitehall, and we played in an absolute downpour, and there was a lightning delay. And to be honest, we had a better football team, but the rain made the difference. And I think the only points that we scored that day as Otterbein was a fumble recovery for a touchdown by a guy that I actually went to high school with. So, that was a vivid memory for me of a bad loss to Capitol. But, it's going to be fun to be on the other side. I've developed friendships with a lot of the OAC coaches, and to have those guys reach out and, welcome me in is outstanding. Obviously I was not that far removed from Baldwin Wallace, and, Coach Overt is an outstanding person. And, I, love that man. And, so it's going to be fun to be back in the OAC. It's where I feel really passionately about the conference, and it's obviously it's the best conference in the country in Division III football, in my opinion. So it's going to be a challenge, but I feel like, again, Capitol's ready to come back up and be back on the map where we're supposed to be, and it's going to come through hard work, and we're going to get after it.
And let me ask about what it's going to be like trying to get stuff together and then play a schedule coming up here in just a few months.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Zoom calls. So, we'll have to keep things a little simple compared to what we would normally do. And I prefer to be simple anyways. But, it's going to be rounding out the staff, getting decisions made with that and doing that quickly, and making sure that, we have those players currently on the roster comfortable with what we're doing, and, making sure that I think this is a great situation for us to introduce and implement our new culture, and that winning culture, that positive culture is going to be there. And, I told the player panel on my interview, I said, we're going to ask you to do things that you may not have been asked to do before. And you've got to dive in head first with it and be all in and, fight everything you can for capital. And, I went through a coaching change going into my senior year at Otterbein. And so I saw that coaching change happen in college. Obviously saw that coaching change happen at Baldwin Wallace, and, buying in from those on the current roster is going to be big. And I think, from my standpoint, hopefully those guys will buy in and have utmost faith in what we're doing. The thing they need to know is I'm going to buy into them as well. It's a two-way street for it, and it's going to take some time, but we're going to get to know them, and we're going to get to help them any way that we can and make sure that they're, being able to reach the heights that they're able to reach and transforms lives once they leave Capital, and be great representatives, not just of, the football program, but also Capital University themselves and their own family as well. So that I look forward to that challenge with those guys, and we'll make it as simple as we can for them.
Right. I really cede the floor for sure this time. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Excellent, Skip. Is there any question that you would like to ask Coach? Okay. Well, if Pat, Skip, there is anything that I can do for you, please feel free to reach out. If you'd like some additional time with Coach Foos, Coach Jeffers, or anybody else, please let me know. I'm happy to help. In the meantime, anybody that's out there, please go to the official release at athletics.capital.edu. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, so that you can get up to the minute information on all of our teams, including Capital Football. And mark your calendars, March 12th, that's the day. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Coach Foos, welcome once again to Capital University.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.